Hi everyone, English 365. This is The Last of Us, Series 1, Episode 1.
Hola, soy Lucía de Inglés 365. Bueno, vamos a empezar este video diciéndoles que los videos no los editamos, entonces si llegan a escuchar algún perro ladrando, una gallina en el fondo, para que sepan que no los editamos para que escuchen pues el idioma en la vida real.
So the show begins in 1968 with a television program featuring two scientists who engage in a discussion about the greatest danger to humankind. They explore the idea that climate change may enable a deadly fungus to spread from tropical areas to human settlements.
Algunas palabras de vocabulario acá. Entonces, tenemos científicos, scientists, discusión, discussion, humankind, para los humanos, para nosotros. También tenemos acá climate change. So, Gary, why do they mention climate change there?
Well, they're just speculating at the time that a type of fungus that actually exists today, I believe it's in the mountains of China, could spread from wildlife, from insects to humans, given climate change. We then skip to 2003. We see a full day in the life of Sarah. We're introduced to Sarah and are then introduced to her father, Joel, who says he's 36, making him 56 when we join him even later in the episode. We're also introduced to Tommy, Joel's younger brother. Sarah fixes Joel's watch, which then breaks on the night the infected rise up.
Algunas palabras de vocabulario de este slide nos presentan. Entonces, introduce es el verbo presentar. Y acá tenemos también el verbo fix, arreglar, reparar. Ella le regala o le da el reloj, lo manda a reparar como regalo. So she actually fixed it for his birthday, right?
Yeah, she used his money. So initially you see her take money out of the drawer and you think, the worst of her, but she's going to get his watch fixed for his birthday. So while she's in the shop, we hear sirens, we see other shop owners closing up, and at Sarah's school, we see a student twitching. This is the first sign of infection. Sarah then visits her neighbor's house, where even the dog is starting to act strangely.
Ok, acá es donde empieza todo a salir mal. Algunas palabras de vocabulario: infection, infección, neighbors, los vecinos, y strange es raro, extraño, las personas, y hasta el perro empiezan a actuar de forma extraña. So why do you think the dog is acting like that?
The dog probably senses that something's happening to the owners, to the humans, and starts acting strange. You can see it in the episode itself. The dog.
He actually starts barking, doesn't he?
Yeah, starts making a noise and moving about. Talking of which, our dogs are barking in the background. Right, so we then go to the neighbors. The neighbors, Joel hears that one of the infected was attacking people at the bar. And Tommy, his brother, has been locked up after fighting him or it off. The neighbor's dog appears again, and we know something is seriously wrong. Sarah goes into her neighbor's house. Joel and Tommy appear and save Sarah as the neighbors turn. The three of them escape in a truck.
Ok, algunas palabras de vocabulario: infected, infectado. Locked up es un phrasal verb, como que lo encerraron, lo metieron en una celda porque se estaba peleando. Y también tenemos el verbo appears, parece ser, algo que aparenta ser. Wrong es cuando algo está mal o sale mal. Y ellos escapan, el verbo escape. So I was very upset when I saw this scene because nobody cared about the dog. The dog had run off, and I was upset. Nobody tried to catch it or anything.
Yeah, that's the main thing, that the dog was free. Okay, so we're now inside the truck. We see burning farms, houses, people screaming in the streets, trying to escape the infected. We hear on the radio, they're saying it's a virus, some kind of parasite. And then the truck they are driving is forced off the road.
Todo está en caos. Acá vemos burning, que cómo se queman, como hay incendios, ¿ves? En diferentes lugares. También tenemos intentar, el verbo try, intentando, la gente está intentando escapar. Y las personas están diciendo que es un tipo de virus, un tipo de parásito. So this is when we realize that it's happening very quick and everything is going very well.
The neighbors are actually in the street, and it's showing you just how quickly they turn. So a soldier confronts Joel, thinking that Sarah has been bitten. She's unable to walk after a fall, and Joel is carrying her. Tommy shoots the soldier, and in the crossfire, Sarah is shot and she dies.
This scene is really sad because it's like the soldiers just decided to start killing people, whether they were infected or not. Acá el verbo shoot, disparar, entonces a la hija de Joel le disparan. Y acá como que los soldados empiezan a dispararle a todo el mundo, así estén infectados o no, which is really, really sad.
Yeah, that's the first real surprise of the series, that Sarah, it looks as if Sarah is going to be one of the main characters, but she's killed off very, very quickly in the episode. We then jump 20 years later to 2023. Fedra. So this scene opens with a child in the wilderness walking towards the federal camp in Boston. The child is infected, and after being assured she's safe, she's euthanized by the Fedra soldiers. So Fedra is what remains of the federal government.
Fedra es como lo que queda del gobierno federal, y acá vemos a una niña que llega y obviamente está infectada, pero ellos intentan ayudarla y desafortunadamente le tienen que dar la eutanasia. Okay, so who are these people? Have they explained who Fedra is, or are they just people who decided to become the government?
No, they are the government. It's what's left of the government.
Okay.
So there are a number of many resistance groups have risen up. And this is where we are first introduced to the fireflies. We see a number of posters around the city detailing the signs of infection and the length of time from infection to turning. There's a lot of graffiti on old buildings.
Este es el nombre como de uno de los grupos de la resistencia que están en contra de este nuevo gobierno, y vemos muchos posters, muchos grafitis y muchas cosas como detallando las señales de signs de la infección y la cantidad de tiempo, cuánto tiempo desde que una persona pues la muerden y se vuelve como un tipo de zombie.
At this point, we are reintroduced to Joel. He carries the body of the recently euthanized girl before throwing her into a fire. The burning bodies, and this is obviously how Joel is surviving.
I think they're actually getting some sort of tickets or getting paid for doing odd jobs.
Yeah, they are. You'll see that there are Russian tickets, like Russian cards. So they're inside a quarantine zone, a QZ, and you see Russian cards being handed out. We're showing a curfew sign, so there's a curfew in place, 6 p.m. until 6 a.m., so nobody on the streets between those hours. Firefly symbols are being painted over, and we actually see people hanged for leaving the quarantine zone.
Bueno, acá están repartiendo, handout, el phrasal verb repartir, y también hay una señal de que hay un toque de queda, curfew, pues que las personas no pueden salir después de cierto horario y las personas que que salen después de estos horarios, pues las están colgando. ¿Ves? Acá tenemos el verbo hang, que es colgar o pues en este caso ahorcar, están ahorcando a estas personas por desobedecer.
Yes, we see handed out, painted over, and people hanged. So Joe is selling pills to the guards. He's obviously smuggling them into the QZ despite the dangers. The guards are simultaneously enforcing the rules while relying on things being brought in from outside. This particular soldier will reappear later in the episode.
Yo le está vendiendo píldoras como de contrabando. Entonces acá tenemos despite, a pesar de, dangers, peligros. También tenemos simultáneamente, simultaneously.
So yeah, he's a smuggler. He's smuggling contraband into the QZ. So things are being brought in from outside. Then we're introduced to Ellie. We're first introduced to Joel's partner, Tess. They plan to gather equipment and make a break from the QZ using a truck once they get hold of a battery. This is also where we see Ellie for the first time. She's shown chained up, held captive by the Fireflies.
Acá nos presentan a la pareja partner, a la pareja de Joel, que se llama Tess, y ellos están juntando, gather, están juntando equipos y cosas como para escaparse. Y necesitan un camión. So they're going to use a truck to try to get away. Y también necesitan una batería, battery, pues para poder escapar en este camión. So do we know why she's being held? Why this
Well, they
girl?
reveal shortly that she's been bitten for some 3 weeks now. So it's pretty obvious that they believe she's some sort of, well, she's immune and she's going to be needed. Marlene appears. As I say, Ellie has survived a bite for 3 weeks and shows no sign of turning. Marlene is leading this particular group, the group holding Ellie. She hands back Ellie's bag, unlocking her cuffs. Ellie calls Marlene a terrorist. And then Marlene convinces Tess and Joel to take over her original mission of ferrying Ellie outside the city.
Ok, acá vemos a Marlene, que es parte de las personas que quieren sacar a la niña, porque la niña creen que pues, pues sabemos que es inmune porque ha sobrevivido un mordisco, bite. Entonces tenemos acá el verbo morder, mordisco, y ya esto ha sido por 3 semanas.
So Joel eventually agrees to take Ellie. Unfortunately, they're spotted by a soldier. It's the same soldier who Joel tried to make a deal with earlier in the episode. He checks each of them for infection, but Ellie stops him. When the guy points a gun at Joel, Joel flashes back to Sarah's death, his daughter, and kills him.
Acá vemos al soldado anteriormente que los detiene y pues intenta que no quiere que se escapen. Entonces, desafortunadamente, unfortunately, acá también tenemos hacer un trato, negociar, make a deal with, y los revisan, check, el verbo revisar. So, do you think they wanted to kill the soldier or not?
No, not at all. He had a flashback, and initially, when we were shown Joel carrying the girl to the fire, he was very sort of unresponsive, but he seems to start being protective towards Ellie. So no, I don't think initially he wanted to. So Joel, Tess, and Ellie head into a dark, rainy night. A radio in a darkened room plays a Depeche Mode song from the 1980s that seems to warn of impending danger. The episode ends as we exit through this open window, the radio to the side. We see crumbling skyscrapers lit by lightning bolts. And that's the end of episode 1.
Acá ellos salen en medio de la lluvia y aparece una canción de los 80s y esta canción indica que hay algún tipo de peligro que viene, les avisa que viene peligro. Entonces, warn viene del verbo advertir, advertencia, y también tenemos acá skyscrapers, que es rascacielos.
And that's episode 1 of season 1 of The Last of Us.
Gracias por ver, esperamos que les haya gustado. Recuerden que nos pueden contactar. Gary es nativo de Inglaterra, yo soy profesora hace 12 años y soy nivel C1. Tenemos clases grupales, clases privadas, también hacemos traducción de documentos al inglés y tenemos horarios flexibles de 6 de la mañana a 8 de la noche.
As Lucia says, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like a free demo, we're on WhatsApp 321 311 8620.